Welcome back to Power Lunch, everybody. Check out shares of Disney, the stock below $80 a share right now and around its pandemic low, by the way. If it falls below 79, then you're talking about levels not seen since 2014, believe it or not. The company going through major changes that might include a sale of assets, including its ABC network and affiliated stations. Joining us now is a man who made a $10 billion bid for those assets, Byron Allen, along with our own Julia Borston. Julia.
Thanks so much, Tyler. Byron, thanks so much for joining me here at the Code Conference. So you're bidding $10 billion for ABC, National Geographic, FX, and then some of these local networks. Why are you interested in purchasing these networks, and why at that price point?
And first of all, thank you for having me. This is a phenomenal asset. And if Disney is willing to sell it, we just wanted to make it very clear we're willing to buy it. Capital is not the issue. There's plenty of capital to buy assets like this. The real commodity is, can you get the deal approved? And by far, we are the best ones to get that deal approved. A lot of folks out there, plenty of cash, they can't do it. I don't think tech companies can get it done. I don't even think tech companies can buy a lemonade stand. I don't think Washington, D.C. is going to roll out the red carpet for them. A lot of the media companies are too big to do it. And I don't think D.C. will be supportive of private equity and hedge funds buying this type of assets. This is a very important asset. It's local news. It's national news. It's where 80% of Americans get their news. So they're going to be really careful with who they approve in getting this type of asset. And it's going to be an owner-operator like me. I've invested a little over $1 billion buying ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox affiliates around the country. Local news is very important. When the pandemic happened, in some of our cases, our local television stations were getting 90% of the share. People were watching our stations trying to figure out what was going on with COVID. So this is something that it's not about cash. It's not about capital. That's the easy part. It's about certainty.
But I want to ask you about that, because you say it's not about capital, but when the news first broke that you were making this offer and there was that $10 billion number out there, some of the analyst notes said it's unclear how serious this offer is because you would have to raise the capital. Can you tell us a little bit about your financing plan for this size of a deal?
Oh, we have quite a few banks that support us and stand with us, and even private equity firms. That's the easy part. The hard part is getting this deal done if they choose to sell it. Now, they're not ready to sell it. Bob has said that they're not ready yet, and he's brought in, Bob's really excellent at what he does. He's the best. He's brought in some excellent consultants, Kevin Mayer, Tom Staggs, and they just said, look, we're not ready. It's a thought. He made that announcement here on your network that he says he doesn't see it as core. Nexstar said they have interest. And Bob and I have been talking about it for some time now, that I have interest in buying these stations and these particular networks. And we said, we're ready to go when you're ready to go. Now, they may never be ready. They may say, hey, we're not ready. We changed our mind. We don't want to do it. But if they are serious about doing it and they get there, we're ready to go.
So you were interested in these assets. You also made a bid for BET, and then Paramount decided not to sell
BET. To sell.
You also were interested in Tegna. If you can't get any of these assets, are there other assets that you are interested in right now?
I think other assets will start to become available, and I think we'll eventually get them. Look, I started this company 30 years ago from my dining room table. It's one of the largest privately held media companies. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And, we'll have our opportunity. Folks are going to need to sell. There are some folks who they have to sell so they can fund their streaming initiatives. And we believe in linear and streaming. And if you're willing to sell your linear assets, we're there. We're seeing something we've never seen before. These are 100-year-old legacy companies who are having to reinvent themselves. They're trying to build a new airplane while they're flying their old airplane midair. So this is something that is much needed. Folks need to shed their assets that are flat to declining so they can go and invest in assets that are growing. We're a firm believer in operators matter. When I bought the Weather Channel 5 years ago, I bought it from a couple of private equity firms who, they thought they had maxed it and it was declining. Well, since then, we've pushed up the top line revenue and the EBITDA, and we're continuing to push it up double digit. And so this is the type of opportunity that's really perfect for us if they make it available.